Dallas has just been on a tear. I believe we can attribute that to Jason Robertson. Also, Jake Ottinger, who's really stepped in.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler. Hayward's absence for this game will be significant, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns into a blowout as of late.
The Golden Knights just can't pull it. I really think the Avalanche are determined this year.
They made so many moves and grabbed so many guys that they have to win a championship or at least make the finals. They were on our championship and bust.
The same self, the only year he won an MVP was the year he cheated, which really should put something against that MVP. But
yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
Hello, I am Ruby Ackerman, and you are listening to Outsider's Opinion with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. And the man that has been crucial, and of course, this is a team, it's a co-host, Austin. We have officially passed the halfway mark in videos posted. We are a daily podcast, and we have survived the first half. We have kicked butt. And this, of course, is the NBA free agency. So thank you all for listening, and channel's done great, but I just wanted to say let's pat ourselves on the back, Austin, as we continue
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the harder part of the year just because it's the second half. You got to keep going. The grind don't stop, as they say.
Yes, and we are entering into a fun type, like those sports are MLB is starting to heat up, but NBA is winding down, NHL is winding down, but there are free agency moments. And we'll talk about the NBA free agency just in general. We were talking about it before. I think the biggest move, maybe it's not the Clay, even though I think that's a big move, and I have a lot of thoughts on that. I think it is KCP to the Magic, bringing
not Paul George to the 76ers?
Okay. Maybe this is just me. I'm not a huge fan of Paul George. But I do think he is an upgrade over Tobias. Definitely, like a huge upgrade.
That's the biggest move. It's KCP. I do think it's a big move. I love the fact that he can shoot. They also re-signed Gary Harris. Love that. Do not have some shooting depth. I like it. I like the Derrick Jones signing for the Clippers. I feel like their ability to defend without utilizing too many injury-prone players is a good move. I want to see what happens with Russ there. Mavs with Clay. Look, people expect, and this is my problem. Look, maybe because I'm talking to too many Mavs fans and I have too many discussions, it just seems like Mavs fans believe that whenever a player goes to the Mavs, that he will completely change from what he was before, and there will be no problems. But my problem is that I'll let you time to speak so you can think about what you're saying. Don't worry.
Because I was thinking about this. But yeah, I'll let you finish. But I was like, I have some thoughts.
They think, and they being Mavs fans, that Clay will just sit corner and just let him just be there whenever Luka needs him. But we know he wouldn't do that for Curry. And Curry was his splash bro. Curry was his man. If he wouldn't do that for Curry, for Steve Kerr, for the Warriors organization that has done so much for him, why would he do that in a new spot? I don't know. Look, Clay's not a bad player no matter what. He can still shoot the ball, but he's a streaky player. He will have games like THJ where he is the worst player in NBA history, but Clay will also have games where he'll go off for 50 still. There is that ability to shoot, but also his injuries prevented him from being very on defense anymore. He's just okay or below average. He's less athletic. Look, I like the trade because, or not the trade, or I guess it is a trade. It is a trade. I like the trade because it's cheap, so it's not that expensive. So it's not they're going to lose too much. It's just 3 years, $50 million, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's fine. I think it's okay, but I don't think this is a world-beating trade.
Okay. So that is not what I expect you to have a problem with the move. My problem with the move, but I'll kind of reflect on that. I can see what you're saying about him sitting in the corner. I think offensively they'll figure it out. Like they do need a third scorer, so I think he can come into that. And he's gonna be in that Tim Hardaway Jr. role, basically, of like shooter. And he did have that streaky performance in the play-in, but to me that's an upgrade over Tim Hardaway Jr.
Well,
And,
0 for 10 can't be an upgrade.
Yeah. But like Tim Hardaway Jr. was not played. He was not.
That's better than 0 for 10.
But like he didn't even play.
It's still better than 0 for 10. I would rather not play than shoot 0 for 10, or at least I would rather have someone on my team not play than shoot 0 for 10. You can't shoot worse than 0 for 10. I guess 0 for 11, but there's problems with both, and there will be trials and tribulations. It's not going to be a perfect flat road. It'll be rocky at times.
Yeah, my problem though with the trade, which is he's expected to be in the starting lineup, and you got it because we did kind of see the frustration we saw with the Warriors where he kind of went to the bench. My problem is kind of filled in that Derek Jones Jr. role, which is who is going to be the guy guarding the person. There's been that thing on Twitter.
Yeah, Kevin. That's a great point. I'd like to say that's a great point because he has to start for your team's chemistry, like you mentioned.
Yes.
But you don't want him to start because if he does, that takes away the starting job from Najee Marshall, who you need to be that Derek Jones Jr. guy. You need to guard the best player. You're probably going to start PJ and Gafford again, right? And if you do that, what were you going to say something?
I think Tim McMahon has reported that Derek Lively is going to be the starting five. But that could all change.
We'll see. It doesn't really matter. But because between Gafford and Lively, the stats are very, very close together. You know my take on it.
You know my take on it too.
Yeah, it's fine. But center, we'll say that. PJ Washington and center. You need Najee Marshall in the starting lineup to guard the best wing. PJ is a good defender, but I don't think he can guard Kawhi, a really good wing like a Najee Marshall could, because Najee Marshall's a better defender. But I know who can't, and that is Clay.
And I would also say Luka, Kyrie, because that's my problem with the move. There's been the term POA, point of attack defender. To me, that's just seems to be the famous word right now. But just the guy, basically, I think the fancy word is point of attack defender. But the guy that takes the guy dribbling up. Because I like what Clay brings offensively, especially 3-point shooting. However, who is the guy that's going to guard Shea? Because we saw Derek Jones Jr. did that. I don't know if PJ can do it just because of the quickness. Even Anthony Edwards is too as well. Just the quickness. And how does PJ guard that? And like you said, Clay is older. He's not as good as defense. I just don't see him guarding that guy bringing up the ball. And to me, that's my biggest problem with the starting five in the Mavericks, because they have that on the bench. I don't think Najee Marshall starts because that starting job has been promised to Clay. And then I will say, I like the addition of Najee Marshall, and I liked what the Mavs did. They didn't just sit around and wait for Derek Jones Jr. because there's that weird free agency pickup. But then he went to the Clippers, where apparently he had to wait 15 days after changing his agent, and the Mavs wanted to go for sure, and they signed Najee Marshall. I like him because of his 3-point shooting. However, he did have a career year, and Derek Jones Jr. just fit in the Mavericks. I don't know if you can see. I'm sure Najee will fit. There's just the possibility where he doesn't fit. However, I do love Najee Marshall. I also like the Quentin Grimes trade because that made Josh Green expendable. Because Quentin Grimes just basically goes into the Josh Green role. I don't really know how to describe the Josh Green role. Just let's see what comes out from him, what works. So I do like the addition of 3-point shooting from Clay and just the experience as well we get from him, the Mavs get from him. However, my problem is who in that starting five is guarding the main guy? Who's guarding the Shea, the Anthony Edwards? And I don't think the Mavs have an answer for that.
I don't have an answer either.
Yeah. So that's my problem with the trade. Even though I do love it because of the 3-point shooting and that threat. You're not
The Mavs can't
gonna-
be done.
I know. I'm very intrigued with what they do. They do have room in the mid-level exception. They also still have 2 first-round picks. I don't know what else they can do, but I wouldn't be shocked if they made another move. But I think it's been a good start getting Clay. I was also shocked that he really came here. I thought he was going to go to the Lakers. So the offensive ability from Clay makes me feel better because we saw them struggle. They needed that third guy. They tried to get Tim Hardaway Jr. to do it. Like he was thrown in game 4. That did not go well. And Clay is a better defender than THJ. It's just he's not your top defender.
In game 4, when do you mean thrown in game 4? Game 4 was the game that he scored like
game 3,
15 points.
Okay, yeah, that's my bad. I'm thinking of game 3.
Yeah, after Luka fouled out. Yeah.
Or it was even like before they were giving him minutes and like we just need an offensive spark and he wasn't hitting it. And then in game 4 he started hitting it.
Yeah.
Because they needed that third scorer and Clay can play off Kyrie and Luka. I'm very intrigued to see how it works.
He's gonna want the ball though. He's not gonna be sitting over there waiting until he gets his chance. That's not how Clay's ever played.
Yeah.
Clay wants 12, 13, 14, 15 shots a game. He wants that.
Yeah. The thing is, like, he can create for himself too, right? Or am I totally...
No, he's running around screens. That's his job. He's never been a ball handler. He had 60 points on 3 dribbles, Kevin.
Got it.
3 dribbles.
Yeah. I like that aspect of the offense because it adds you a legitimate 3-point threat.
But also he's going to be taking fading 30-footers that he airballs. But that's a lot of volatility, a lot of great, a lot of terrible. It's just how it works out with Klay Thompson at this point in his career.
Yeah, and maybe he transitions into kind of being that 3-point corner guy.
Why would he do it for Luka if he wasn't going to do it for Curry?
It's a very good question.
I don't think people just change when they go to a new place, especially when this player is supposed to be a Hall of Famer. At this point in his career, I don't see that happening. We'll see. For the Mavs' sake, I hope he does.
Yeah, I was not expecting. I understand your point. My big problem is the defensive side in the starting 5.
We'll see. But we can move on. We spent enough time on Clay. Talking about KCP, he's just the better version of Clay at this point. While he doesn't have the volatility, he can't. He won't be really, really great or really, really poor. And he also can't shoot the absolute lights out of the ball. He's still a great shooter, great defender, better defender than Clay at this point in his career. And I'd rather have KCP than Clay right now. I feel like that's not a crazy opinion to have. And the Magic get better. And the Magic were 5 seed last year. They almost went out of the first round. Like I said, they re-signed Mo Wagner, Goga, and Gary Harris. We'll have to see if they make any trades, but I am interested to see if they keep making other additions. The Lakers sign. Who's the Lakers sign again?
Very good question. They didn't.
No, they signed somebody. I thought
they had guys take up their player options. I haven't seen anything. I don't think they've added anyone yet.
Yeah, but maybe not. They signed Bronny to a multi-year guarantee contract.
Yeah.
That's not really free agency.
I will add one more thing. I just love the fit with KCP with the Magic. Just also, he's an older player. He's won 2 championships. And I'm really excited to see maybe he does become, like, I'm expecting him to be that leader in the locker room.
Or at least one of those guys. Yeah, I completely agree. I think the biggest move this offseason, one that I haven't talked about, is the DeJounte Murray trade to the Pelicans.
Yes, that is something I want to talk about.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it until I was looking at moves this offseason. DeJounte, CJ, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, and Zion. I don't think that's the lineup they're necessarily going to run out because 6'7" center is not necessarily what you want, but they have a great team. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade BI or Zion to try to get a good center.
Yes, that is an underrated move. I would like to say I was not familiar with Najee Marshall. I know going back to the Mavs, I didn't realize I really like his metrics, even though he is in a career year. However, the Pelicans really swung. I like DeJounte Murray. I'm surprised the Hawks traded him away. They chose Trey over DeJounte.
It's a tough decision because Trey's not a good defender while DeJounte is. I don't know. Chris Paul ended up signing with the Spurs. I like that move. I think it made a lot of sense, and obviously I predicted it, so maybe I like it a little bit more. But
yeah, I'm very excited to see how that works out. And I will also say, talking about the, I would say confusing moves. I don't know how you feel about it. Jonas Valanciunas to the Wizards.
horrible.
Okay.
I don't understand it. I don't even hate Jonas Valanciunas. It just doesn't match the scheme or the timetable that the Wizards are truly on.
Yes, it's a 3-year deal, and they drafted Alex Sarr. So I don't really understand what is the point.
I don't know what our goal is. I don't know
Yeah.
what we're trying for. I don't know.
And then I would say, so Paul George, I think, is an upgrade over Tobias Harris. They kept
And
Max.
Tobias Harris went to the Pistons.
Yes, which is weird. I don't understand.
I
how
don't
that's
hate
gonna
that one
work.
as much because I feel like he can help teach the infinite wings, Azar Thompson, Ron Holland. They have a lot of wings on that team that I feel like need to learn how to play. So I don't hate that move as much as I hate the Valanciunas move.
Got it. Oh, and then Hartenstein did go to the Thunder.
He did, and that's a huge move because I maybe they do end up starting him, and if they start him and Chet, that's a very tall front court.
Yes. And next thing I will say is trying to look Eric Gordon to the Sixers as well. That is,
It's a good move.
yeah, the Sixers. I'm very interested to see what happens, and then I'm trying to see. I think one thing we didn't talk about, which was already reported, is a big key player that we talked about. Pascal Siakam stayed with the Pacers. That really changed the trajectory of free agency because he could have been on the market, and it works out for the trade with the Pacers.
Yeah, I agree.
Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, the Suns got Monte Morris, and they also got Mason Plumlee. So they're starting to get,
Both are good moves. I'm surprised they had enough cap space to orchestrate those deals.
yeah, those are good role players. So I that's what they need. And yeah, that's all I can see. Oh, did you see the Jonathan Isaac move? He agreed to a
Yes,
5-year,
5 years, 86 million, or 5 years, 89 million, 89
or
million, right?
I thought it was 84.
Maybe it's 84.
But yeah, still an extension, which I'm kind of surprised by given just his recent injury struggles.
84, you're right. I'm not that shocked because he was pretty healthy last year. He wasn't like they still sat him out for some games, mostly with rest. He didn't actually miss many games with injuries. And then Kyle Anderson signed a 3-year deal with the Warriors.
Yeah, and I would like to talk about the effect of Clay leaving the Warriors. And the Warriors, I think I would have liked to see Josh Green with the Warriors. They would have been a team that could fix him. I don't think the Hornets can fix him. They're just going to have to hope that it works and he grows with that playing time he'll get. So I'm surprised the Warriors. I guess they also signed D'Anthony Melton, but what is their fix for Clay leaving them? They're also losing Chris Paul as well.
I don't know. I guess the answer is D'Anthony Melton and Kyle Anderson right now.
Yeah, so it's going to be a it's been a crazy few days and took a little bit to get started, but we'll just have to see what happens. There are some trades. Apparently, the Warriors are looking at Lauri Markkanen. Knicks are also looking at Walker Kessler because a lot of the other centers are even gone or that could replace Hartenstein because they do need a center. Even James Wiseman is off the board, and he's going to the Pacers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is all we got. Any final thoughts, Austin? And I'll let you close out this episode.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. What move did you guys think was the most important? And please catch you in our next video.